Hey guys, welcome to another video. This one is a little bit different. This is actually my first ever organized paintball outing. If you have done one before, whether it was a group of 3, 5, 10, or maybe even as big as 20, you would probably know how overwhelming it can be. Just the fact that you wanted to try to get everybody together, and especially if the field had a minimum of 10 or 15 and you had to pre-register, it definitely can be overwhelming. But as far as this group, most of them were either first-timers or people that have just played once or twice a year. This particular day I actually had 3 10-year-old kids that were very excited in playing. They have some friends and family members that have played before, so they were really eager to try it out for the first time. I actually had one parent also in this group trying it for the first time so that their son wasn't alone in the field with people who've played before. And the rest, like I said before, were people who've played before but not as regular. And you know, the most they have ever played was twice in 1 year. Now, one thing that made this a possibility was on the field side. They didn't really request for me to prepay or to reserve a spot. I basically had to show up and pay at the store when we all showed up. So I didn't really have to worry about people who said they were going and reserved the spot and something coming up later on, or you know, early that morning. But as far as the day had gone, in the morning it was a private group, so we were able to play alone for, you know, the first hour or so, which was very good for the first timers. They didn't feel intimidated playing with strangers, and it was a nice introduction to the game. And we were able to control the flow of the game, make it a little bit slower, and take our time to explain the safety things that you have to be mindful of in the field. But by the afternoon, 3 people that were also first timers kind of merged in with our group, so that was fine too. We played a couple of games with them, and by the, you know, later in the afternoon we were actually merged with the B group. And the B group is basically a lot of walk-ons that are either new or rentals and haven't, you know, don't really play too much. But by that time, many of the people in my group were already acclimated to the game, so they weren't really intimidated. Again, playing with strangers. So basically, for the first part of the day, I decided to play with my pump, and while making sure that my loaners were working fine. Just had to explain, you know, how to turn on the markers and turn on the loaders, just to make sure they were able to shoot when they wanted to. And later in the day, I switched to an electro, mainly because by that time we were playing with the B group, and just in case we were playing with, you know, other people and we were about to be overwhelmed. You know, many of the rentals in the B group opted to use the upgraded rentals, which were either E-Techs or Ethas with Aspire, and many of them were adults. So I just wanted to be able to hold my own, protect my group just in case it came to that point. Now, a question for you guys out there, especially for the ones that have tried to organize their own group. What did you do, and how successful was it? Were you able to get most of the guys and gals that you invited to come out? If you have any tips that, you know, I can use, or any other viewers out there can use to encourage others to go. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that play paintball want to try and get their friends into it, their significant others, their family into it. But, you know, as first timers, initially they might think, oh, it's really cool, they've always wanted to do it. But as the time gets closer to go out there in the field, they realize you might get hurt, and you know, they decide that they'll pass because they can use the money for something else that they would truly enjoy more at that time. And also, if you did have the group, was it a great experience? Was it successful? Did everybody have a good time? Especially the first timers. Were they excited in getting their first kill? How did they do it? You know, did it really make their day?
Yeah.
Or unfortunately, if it was a negative experience, what basically killed it? Was it being bonus balled by other rentals, other people? People not really following the rules, like taking their mask off in the field, or just being grouped with or against uneven teams.
I got you in the
so
shoulder.
It's basically a slaughter every time you played. Now, this is basically one of the highlights of the day. For the most part, many of the people in the group were excited about playing in the woods, which we did, and not too many people were really looking forward to playing speedball until it kind of died down. It was towards the end of the day, so the crowd kind of thinned out, and we decided to play some speedball. You know, during the day they would see groups and other, you know, rentals playing the speedball field, and you know, they decided to finally give it a shot. Now, this camera angle is actually on one of the first timers, 10-year-old, and it happened to be one of his favorite games. So I think he might have been turned on to speedball. So it was definitely good to see this on the video, how excited he was that he finally was able to get a grown-up on the field, actually, because earlier in the day he liked playing, but he got kind of bored staying in the back, not really being able to see anybody and shoot at anybody too much. I mean, he would see a few people here and there, but they were mostly too far to really get an accurate shot on. So when this actually happened, and you know, he exclaimed that he got him, it was great. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch these videos, and also for taking the time to leave comments and subscribing. You know, I totally appreciate everything that you put down there, giving me tips, advice, or just answering the questions I might have in the video. Thanks again, and see you out there in the field.
Somebody's in the middle. Check your right. Move up on the left, move up on the left, move up on the left. There's one guy on the right, move up. Game over, game over, game over, game over. You're good.